Hey everyone, welcome back. For this trip, I'll be heading down to Arkansas to do the Eagle Rock Loop Trail in the Ouachita National Forest. This is usually done as a 3-day trip. It's a 28-mile loop. I'll be aiming to do it in 4 days, just to spend more time out in the woods and just kind of enjoy nature. I think so far for the weather forecast, it looks like it's going to be mostly sunny, maybe some rain on the last day, so we'll see what happens. I'm going to head on down to Mena, Arkansas, and stay there overnight in a hotel, stage out of there so I can hit the trail first thing in the morning. And I'll check back when we're in Arkansas. Hey, it's the next morning. I made it to Mena, Arkansas last night, stayed in a hotel, and right now I'm just doing a slow start. There's no rush. I only plan on doing like 7 miles a day, so I've got like, I don't know, 6 or 7 hours to do 7 miles, so I'm just going to take it nice and slow and easy. Let's take a look at what the trail looks like on gut hooks and then kind of go over a plan of what the adventure overall is going to look like. Here's what the overall trail looks like on gut hooks. I'm going to be starting out on the northwest corner right up here. Just so happens to be mile marker 0 from what the trail guide shows. I'm going to be hiking to the south and going in a counterclockwise direction over the course of a 4-day trip. Overall things on this plan to note is that there are tons of water crossings, so water is going to be heavily available, so that'll be nice. And that's also going to be a downside because more further on the eastern part over here, the little caution notes are going to be the river crossings, and those can be very hazardous if the water levels are high, so we'll see when we get there. It hasn't been raining too much lately though, so hopefully that's not going to be too bad. Here we are at the trailhead. It's a fun little drive over here. It's fun for a little sedan, definitely be easier in a truck or something. The last 10 miles or so were unpaved gravel, going nice and slow, but it was doable. It's definitely chilly out here, and I think it's supposed to be below freezing every night that I'm out here, so I'll be careful with the cold. And there's going to be a ton of stream crossings. This first day is going to be mostly mountainous. It's going to be a lot of up and over mountains. The goal is to keep my shoes dry, so if I have to cross and get wet, I'll change out to my sandals. But the water's going to be cold for sure. The next day or two, somewhere in there, is going to be where the river crossings are at, and those are definitely going to involve getting wet. We'll see those when you come up to them though. But alright, let's start this trail. I like this feeling out here of like first starting a trail. I've never been out here before. This is going to be a big 28-mile 4-day trip, and just thinking about like the conditions are going to be cold, the water could be treacherous, and definitely kind of kicks in the back of your mind like this survival, I don't know, survival instincts kick in, and you just have to realize that all you've got on your back is everything you've got to survive out here. I don't know, it's kind of a cool unsettling feeling. Kind of like it. Rocky trail like this so far. It's windy today too. I think the winds are like 20 miles an hour. You can definitely hear it kind of roaring through the trees as it gusts up. I think it's going to be windy tonight, but then the rest of the trip should be calmer. I think I'm about a mile in on the stream crossing. Most of these shouldn't be too bad. I should be able to rock hop across without needing to change into sandals or anything. You can always go up or downstream a couple hundred feet, see if it looks easier elsewhere. I think I can find something here though. I'm at this next creek. I looked up and down, didn't see a good crossing place to keep dry, so I'm in sandals. Now I'm just gonna speed walk it across here and then dry off and get my warm socks back on. I definitely don't want to get my shoes wet and then be cold and wet in those. So here we go in some freezing cold water as I cross. Oh yeah, it's nice and cold. Okay, I get warmed up. Okay, that crossing wasn't that bad. The first second in the water, your feet kind of go numb, and then you just trudge through it, and then as soon as your feet are out of the water, even before they're dried off, they already start warming up. So that wasn't bad. Okay, let's keep moving. I think I'm about halfway done distance-wise for what I was planning to do today, and it's about lunchtime, so I think I'm going to stop here at this campsite. I'm going to try to do something pretty quick, because I know I'm going to start feeling really cold once I'm stopped walking. I have to warm myself up quick once I'm done eating. Okay, I'm all done with lunch. Back on the trail. Well, this creek's a little wider, and I see a white blaze on the other side. So if I really have to cross this, I think I'm going to be getting wet again. Alright, I'm on the other side. That water temperature is a whole nother level of cold. I was in there like 20 seconds, and that was 20 seconds too long. Crossing the rivers is going to be tomorrow, and that's going to be at least knee deep and just as cold. A minute or two worth of crossing. That's going to be rough. We'll reassess that when I get there, I think. Yeah, let's keep going. I'm about 7 miles in. I think this is going to be camp for the night. I'm going to try to get set up pretty quick here and get a fire going so I can start getting warmed up. Change into my long underwear, my puffy jacket on. That's a nice little setup. I think this will work. Okay, I'm a little set up now. I got like 4 layers of clothing on, so now I'm feeling a little more comfortable. Let's see, I need to filter some water. I probably won't do dinner for another hour or more, but I will get a fire going here shortly and just kind of relax and try to stay warm for the rest of the night. Overall, I think this is a pretty nice little spot. There's plenty of room for other tents and hammocks and stuff. Well, I'm done with dinner, and the sun has just gone down. It's going to start getting dark pretty quick here. I think overall today was a pretty good day. I just took it nice and slow. It was just up and over mountains. This was definitely the mountainous part of the trail for the first 7+ miles. I've got one more hill to go up, and that'll be the Eagle Rock Vista, Eagle Rock View, whatever it is itself. Hit that first thing in the morning. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't very strenuous. It was just nice grades going up and down. Lots of creek crossings. Cool. If I don't check back in, I will see you guys in the morning. Morning. I think the sun's just starting to come up. It's cold. It was cold last night. It's cold right now. It's definitely near freezing. I think I'm gonna slowly start getting up and then get some breakfast and then get moving, get that warming me up. We'll slowly get in there. Alright, I'm all packed up. I just snacked on a quick breakfast bar. I'm gonna just get hiking as quick as I can, start warming up. I think I'm like a quarter mile to the Eagle Rock overlook thing, so I'm gonna go check that out for the morning, see what I can see with the sun coming up. We'll check back in there. I think this is the overlook. Yeah, it definitely starts feeling a little bit warmer with the sun up on you. So this is the end of the mountain portion of the trail. It's all kind of downhill from here to the river crossing, at least a couple of miles away. Here's the next trail junction, so I'll take a left here, and then I'll be all eastern bound from this point. All right. I was just thinking how I haven't seen anyone out here yet, but I don't feel alone in this area at all. Maybe it's because I have the camera, but I really do feel like all of you guys watching are kind of hiking along with me, kind of sharing this trip together. There's a spring right here. It's just bubbling right out of the ground. I just ran across another guy who was hiking the other direction, and I think it was extremely fortuitous that I ran into him, because he just got done doing all the river crossings, so I was talking to him about it, got some intel. He said it was not as deep as knee deep, so that's good, but they are long and kind of painful to get across. There's 4 total crossings. I'll probably do 2 today, 2 tomorrow. And he said, from my direction, it would be the 4th crossing is dry. You'd be able to get across it without getting wet. So really there's only 3, so that's really good. I'm getting pretty close to the first one though, so we'll see when we get there. But yeah, he was like, it's cold and it's painful, but it's not that deep. You just gotta kind of trudge right through it. So it's a little better than what I was expecting. I was expecting it to be potentially deeper. Okay, we'll check back in when we're there at the river. Should be there shortly. There's the river. The guy I ran into said this one was the worst one, as in it's the widest. To suffer through the cold of it the longest. I'm gonna try to find a spot, maybe over there, the shallowest, quickest way across. Alright, we'll check back in when you're on this side. Alright, first river crossing complete. Yeah, that wasn't fun. That is a level of cold you will never know unless you've actually done this. But this is a friggin' beautiful spot though. and I'm glad the sun is out. I can just chill here for a little bit and warm back up. I think the next crossing is about a mile or less down the trail, and we'll have to do this all over again. I feel like I just want to stop and film like every 5 minutes. This part is really cool where the little Missouri River's at, just kind of cutting through the rocks here. It's beautiful. I was getting hungry, and there's a nice little campsite here along the river. So I'm gonna do lunch real quick, and then we'll cross the river shortly thereafter, I think. Okay, lunch is done. Back to the trail. So here's the second water crossing. I've only got this far to go. I was able to get kind of the middle of the stream just by getting some of these rocks. Alright, we'll see you on the other side. Water crossing number 2 is complete. That one was a little bit deeper, shorter, but deeper. I had my pant legs hiked up above my knees, and the water level came above them. I think it'll dry out pretty quick though. Let's keep going. Finally feels like it's starting to warm up out here. It's cold this morning, and it's going to be cold again tonight. I think it's supposed to be partly cloudy tomorrow and not as warm. Alright, so I am at the campsite, which I was originally planning on staying at for the second night. I am at mile marker like 14, so I've done 7 miles for the day. However, my body's feeling good, and I've got like 4 hours of daylight left. So I think I'm going to go a couple more hours down trail to some further campsites, and then depending on how far I get today, I might just hike out tomorrow. That may only leave like 8 or 10 miles left for the third day, and then I'll just make this a 3-day trip. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna keep moving on. Now I've got to get across this now, and I think I gotta get wet again. Alright, I just hiked down from there. I'm at the Albert Pike trailhead. I think this is the other main trailhead that people step off from. And I'm going to continue to the right, that way somewhere, figure out where I'm going. I think I'm only about 2 miles left to my intended campsite target for tonight. So maybe another hour and a half or so till we get there. Yeah, here we go, back to the trail. Well, I just had to cross over that log, but it was not entirely stable at all, and I ended up going in. so I'm definitely wet. I've got fresh socks and stuff, and I can dry my shoes out. Should get to camp in a little bit. Might be half dry by the time I get there anyway. This is gonna be camp for the night. I'm gonna set up here quick and get out of these wet shoes, and then get some food going probably. I'm done with dinner now. The sun has set. I got camp all situated. I'm looking pretty good. My feet are dry. Hopefully my shoes aren't frozen in the morning. Morning. I'm about halfway packed up already. The sun came up a little bit ago, and it's cold. Feels like it's colder than it was last night. We've got the river crossing like 30 minutes, 45 minutes into the morning here, I think, and I just hope the sun comes out before then. I'm like halfway packed up. Just finishing up stowing the last couple things, and my shoes kind of halfway dried out. They're kind of frozen though, so I'm gonna double up on my socks, and they should slowly start warming up as I get to hiking. I'll give updates on how my feet are doing. Okay, I'm ready to go. I'm gonna hike out all bundled up, get some blood flowing for a little bit, and then I'm gonna stop shortly and snack on some breakfast bars, get some food in me. But I just gotta get moving for right now. We've got the sun out. There's a start. My feet aren't doing too bad. They're cold, but they're not frozen. I was just thinking about basic survival needs for any situation. You've got the 3 basics: food, water, shelter. A lot of people get this answer wrong for which is the most important. They think of food or water, but it's actually shelter. Because you can go days without water, weeks without food, but if you don't have the right protection from the elements, it can kill you in a matter of minutes. Well, here's the next river crossing. This looks deep. Right here though. I'm gonna wander around some and see if I can find a better spot, maybe up further. I made it across the river. That was that one felt like the worst so far, just because how cold it was. It definitely felt colder being the morning time. Whew. Now I gotta warm up my toes. They're definitely a little on the frozen side. So this area is now the last major water crossing of the trip. And in theory, I can cross this without getting wet. So I'm gonna hunt around and see where I'm supposed to cross, and then where I can probably cross. But it looks doable. There's enough rocks, I think. Well, I looked around some, but it was not possible to cross without getting wet. Maybe because it's warmed up a little bit, but it did not feel as cold as the last one this morning. But I've changed back into my shoes. I'm all dried and warm again. So we'll just keep pressing. There's a little lizard hiding in the trees right here. It's a little cold for him to be out. I guess he's gonna stay hidden there. There he is. Alright, we'll leave him be. Maybe soaking up some sun. Here's the viewpoint for the Little Missouri Falls. The next two river crossings will be like this, with nice footbridges up. Let's see. We're up here. Car's over here. I did all of this over the last 3 days. And I've got 4.1 left back to the car, it looks like. There's like no one out here now, but I could totally see how this would be hugely popular in the spring or fall time frame. I see a campsite coming up, and I think I'm going to stop and get some lunch, enjoy the last meal on trail, and then from here after lunch it'll only be, I don't know, 3 miles left or so, maybe less at this point. Lunch is done. Got fresh fill up on water, and let's hike these last couple miles. This last couple miles of trail in this section have been outstanding. This is just beautiful. It's like super flat, easy to walk on terrain. There's a nice little creek off to the side. It's just really quiet and peaceful out here. It's just a good way to end the trail. I think I'm about in my last half mile or so of the trail. While I'm thinking about it, let me go over some of my overall final thoughts. I loved it. This trail was awesome. I think it has the right mix of things that make it easy and things that make it difficult. Some of the easy stuff is like water availability. Water's just everywhere, so you don't need to carry more than like a liter at a time, and every time it gets kind of empty, just fill it back up. And things that make it dangerous is definitely the river crossings. You have to be careful of how much rain the area has gotten recently before you come out here. If water levels are like waist deep or something, that's just not going to be smart to try to do that. But overall, it was great. This was like a perfect 3-day trail. You just do like 9 miles a day. I could definitely see this being super popular and busy during the spring and the fall time frame. Probably have a lot of people out here. There's a lot of campsites, but I could see those all being full if there's a ton of people. Cool. Probably check back in as I get closer to the car. But we're just about done with this. Alright, this is it. Back to where I started. I think I've said just about everything I wanted to say about this trip. It's been awesome. I have thoroughly enjoyed it, despite the cold, which I don't like, but it's better than sitting at home doing nothing. Thanks for watching. and we'll see you on my next adventure.